getting loud, clear.
All day, all night.
Power 95, where music lives. The views expressed in the following program aren't necessarily those of Power 95. Ladies Room comes to you compliments. Renwick Thompson and Company Limited, agents for Western Union.
2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6.
Education multiplies their chances and places the world of opportunity in their hands. No matter where they are in the world, make sure they're prepared for their journey back to school with Western Union. School fees, books, room and board, whatever the reason. Knowledge, independence, opportunity. Western Union, moving money for better.
Going by the name.
Good morning, ladies and problems. Hope everybody's good. I'm missing something. Hold on, I'm trying to share. Something. Alright, I think I got it now. Nope, good to go. How is everybody doing today? It's a final one for the week. And why am I still seeing the screen? Oh, okay. There we go. Yeah, so it's the final one for the week already, and it's already Thursday. I felt like just the other day, yesterday was Sunday, and I got up and was ready to take on another week. But anywho's, we're up and running more time. What's going on with the internet this morning? The internet. So I'm jumping right into it because this situation this morning is I saw a couple people who actually got it, but for the most part there are some others who really didn't. Y'all missed the mark. Y'all didn't get it. You know, I first spoil. Who's here? Guys, come on in and share the live. Come on in. Good morning, Linda. Morning, Shantae, Christelle, everybody. Good morning, Janelle. Good morning, Kizzy. Good morning, Kadina. Oh, the notification is working again. Fantastic. Good. Good morning, Jennifer. How are you? Morning, everybody. G-Eds, everybody. Sonia. Jacqueline, good morning. Jacqueline, my stuff is on the way. I thank you. Where's Dwight? Good morning, Terrence. I need to tag more of the men. Get them in the room. Good morning, Kim Donna. Current thing gone. I don't know what I pressed. I think my hand moved the button. So come on into the room because today's scenario, I'm going to put a different spin on it. And there's something I want to play as well. I shared it last evening on my Facebook page. I'm not too sure how many of you listened to it or you viewed it. But it sort of kind of ties in with what this situation is this morning. And I just wish that we could get to a place where we start taking abuse seriously and not look at victimizing the victim or somehow making it their fault. Yeah? Regardless of our situations or whatever is going on, it does not give anybody the right to whether physically, mentally, financially, whateverly abuse you. And sometimes I just think we we excuse certain things, and we make excuses for certain things, and we blame people for being a particular way or certain things happening to them. Listen, it's not easy to like put your pride on the shelf and ask somebody for help. You literally gotta have like this out of body kind of vibe, energy, especially in today's environment, to like say I need help, whether it's financially or whatever. It takes a lot. And as much as you hear so many people saying get a job, y'all talk like there's jobs just sitting by the road and you go pick one up and you put it down and you choose another one. You could be qualified as hell. You have all the degrees and you're still sometimes not employed, not fully in the job that you want to be in, and not paid for all the years that you went to school and got all your masters and what and what. It's not that easy. From since time immemorial, you heard, you know what, growing up, get an education. That will take you out of poverty. Get an education. But have you looked at how expensive it is to get an education? It's just like the system wants you to succeed, but it's almost like it wants you to fail. Because you're told to get out of poverty, you need an education, but education is expensive to get out of the poverty. And if you don't have the means, whether to get a scholarship or to get a student loan, you're practically doomed. Or if your parents are in a good position to fund your entire school years, you're practically doomed. From pre-primary, from the time you start going to school, you have to start paying. Daycare, preschool. There are some that are, government run, but not every community or every parish. So since your child is a toddler, you have to start paying, right? Primary schools, for the most part, you still have to make some sort of contribution. Either the toilet or walk in, then have paper, school fare coming up, you have to send milk, you have to send flour, you have to send sugar, you have to pay school fees, you have to buy books. It is expensive. So for the life of me, I can't understand how we always say education will take you out of poverty, but at the same time, education is so expensive. How do you get out of the poverty when you have to pay for said education? People think that is just like so easy. Get a job. I know people who are fully educated and they've been looking for a job to suit their qualifications for the longest. So much so they just sometimes have to settle in something that will enable them to pay a bill or help them to pay back their student loan. But it's not necessarily something that they want. And there's a lot of people who get scholarships and, they go abroad and they don't return because what they're qualified to do when you come back here, you're given a little desk up in the zoo and you're underpaid and you're unhappy, and so they remain where they are. So it's not as easy as, people make it out to be, like get a job. If that was the case, unemployment will not be up in the 30s or 40s or wherever it is now. It'll be zero, zilch, nada. It's not that easy. Even though you try to do your little thing for yourself, you still get fired on. You try to sell a little weave, a little makeup. Oh, she playing this, mean by nothing from. You still get a little. One man put a barbecue stand by the road. A next man pass, he might look like, hey, barbecue selling boy. You see two little people, next week you bring your stand on the other side of the road. Two of us competing with the same barbecue. No little rolls, no little salad, no nothing. So you still even when you try to do something for yourself, you still don't get the support. People will come into your inbox. What is the price of that and that? You give them a price, oh, that's too expensive. Oh, you do this, or you do that. It's like people want you to give you their stuff free. Not thinking about, one, you have to pay a whole lot of taxes, a whole lot of port duties, and it's not given to you. It's like an investment. Oh, that's too expensive. Oh, I could get it on this site for $5. Okay, so go get it for $5. So even though you try by yourself, it is still hard. Terrence says, take what you get until you get what you want. The amount of certificates I have qualified to so-called white-collar jobs, and I'm doing security. Some people just lazy. Yeah, that is true. But at the same time, you can't take that broad brush and paint everybody. You can't take that broad brush and paint everybody. There isn't much to take what you get from either. That pool is very, very small. So it's easy to say, take what you get, but it's not. There isn't a whole lot to take what you get. Even to young women I see on the road doing debushing, and young men, to me, that is a job that should be for, more elderly people who practically, just want a little thing to do. They're probably retired, they're probably not doing much home, so, they just want to feel useful, do a little thing. To me, that should be more targeting them than the amount of young people I would see by the road cutting bush and stuff like that. So it's easy to say take what you get, but you could get stuck in that take what you get place. Because like I said, there isn't much to get, there isn't much happening. So you take what you get, and then you're stuck for a while. And before you know it, you come on to people who are grumpy every day. You go into walk into the business place, and it's like you're bothering these people. It's because they're stressed, they're under pressure, they don't want to be there. It's just because they take what they get. A lot of that contributes to the poor customer service that we witness a lot of the times. People aren't where they want to be. And you're thinking, I'm here with all these qualifications and I'm being paid the bare minimum. So I don't have to give you 100%. You're going to get what you're paying for, the bare minimum. So you walk into an establishment and people hardly put their head up to service you, hardly ask you, what do you want? How can they help? It's attitude, they're angry, they don't want to be there, but they're just there because they can't afford for their light to get disconnected or their internet bill not to be paid. So there's a lot of, Anyways, now this young lady says that she has a friend, she's known him for about 10 years, and they tried dating once, but it didn't work, as he drinks a lot. And that's a problem a lot of Grenadian men have. Y'all drink alcohol like it's juice. Y'all consume alcohol like it's breakfast, like it's morning, noon, and night. Y'all aren't social drinkers. You just drink. Any opportunity is a reason to drink. So he happens to be one who drinks a lot. And every day, then he would get abusive with his words and make her so angry that if she reacts, he would say she's crazy. She says, now 5 years after the breakup, they're still friends, but it is his fault that I'm single. Because whenever she's off, he comes to her house. And if I tell him I'm going out without him, he'll call her the W word, etc., and other derogatory terms. He would get drunk and text me that, you're that particular word. And she says she's still friends with him because he pays her daughter's tuition. So he basically has ammunition. He abuses me in so many ways, and it hurts. I am being mentally abused by my friend just because of his financial contribution to my daughter's education. I've told him numerous times that he doesn't have the right to talk to me that way, and the name calling must stop. Then he says, well, he's going to stop paying her schooling. How do I do this? What do I do? And a lot of people in the audience are saying, well, get a job. Based on what I'm reading, she didn't say she doesn't have a job. Maybe she is one who took what she get and it's not enough to secure her daughter's tuition. I'm not sure what school the daughter is attending, but it seems like a private school. So maybe one of the things you probably have to do is put your daughter in public school. I know a lot of the times, parents want their best and you think, but the public school works just as well as the private school. Yes, the numbers may be smaller in private and you think your child will get a better, will get more attention. But if you look at the record, public schools are doing very well. So maybe sometimes you had to cut out the beast's head. Because if that's what he has holding and using against you, then you have to find a way to work around that so you don't have to depend on him. Yeah? It's a word we hear a lot of, narcissism and narcissistic tendencies and what have you. There's a lot of people walking around with it, men as well as women. So as much as you want your daughter to have the best education, is it worth it? Is your mental health worth it? Because you say you're being mentally abused because he is paying your daughter's tuition, and you're basically going and dealing with it and accepting it because he's paying your daughter's tuition. My suggestion, maybe if you can't afford it on your own, remove your daughter from private school or wherever that requires tuition that you can't afford, switch to a public school. That way you don't need to speak to him anymore. You don't need to depend on him for any tuition. You don't have to take abuse in any way, shape, or form. Sometimes it just requires taking responsibility. And like I said, every parent wants the best for their child, especially when you didn't have it for yourself. There's a lot of parents who say, you know what, I did not get a good education. I want my child to get the best. So whatever I have to do, I'm going to do it. But is it worth it? Is your mental health worth it? What if something were to happen to you? What will happen to your child? You've known him for 10 years. Y'all tried dating, it didn't work. Why would you want to be around somebody that you've been in a relationship with that is abusive to you and you accept it because he's paying tuition? Abuse and mental health is something we take lightly on this rock. I don't know why. Let me play this for y'all that I posted on my page yesterday of a situation that occurred in the U.S., I think some part of Florida, where a father took the life of his 2-year-old daughter, while on FaceTime with the mother, and told the mother that she made him do it as he choked that child to death. So again, I keep saying, y'all keep playing games with your lives and taking chances. There's a lot of mentally unstable people out there, and they might look good, but there's a lot of mad people in clean clothes. They may not look it, they may not act the typical mental case type, but there's a lot of people who are mentally unbalanced, mentally unstable that you're dealing with. You never know what could make a person snap. Let me know if you all are hearing this. Hold on. Hold a second. Let me know.
This is how Kirsten Watson wants to remember her 2-year-old's happy and loving daughter, Zavea, haunted by her last moments alive on a FaceTime.
She was on his lap, and she was gasping for air, and as she was gasping for air, he just had his arm around her neck, just squeezing tighter. He was like, "This is what you made me do. All you care about is that man." And I'm telling him, "No, stop, please. This is your daughter. She loves you." But he's still doing it.
DeAndre Flanagan is charged with murder. Court records say he struck his daughter with and against a blunt object and choked her, applying pressure to her neck and throat. The 25-year-old picked his daughter up from a daycare on Monday before leading police on a chase and eventually a standoff in Northwest Harris County.
Telling the officers, like, "Look at this FaceTime call. Move in, move in, move in now." And they sat there and said they got to get everybody ready. And they have to put on their, like, shields and stuff, and they have to do all of this extra stuff. Like, he wasn't killing her on this FaceTime call. They waited at least 20 minutes to move in.
I've been pressing officials about why they waited to move in. And now we've learned there's an internal investigation to look into whether all policies were followed by both the Sheriff's Office and HPD. The Sheriff's Office sent us a statement saying, in part, the investigation will include a thorough review of the timeline, camera footage, dispatch communications, and radio traffic. Watson says she's felt failed by law enforcement leading up to her daughter's death. ABC 13 has learned the sheriff's office responded to at least 2 calls just days before, once on March 15th for a terroristic threat and again on the 19th for telephone harassment.
I told them over and over and over that something was wrong. They could have at least tried to find him or check it out. But no, even with his past, they saw it, but they still looked past it like it was nothing.
I asked the sheriff's office why no action was taken. They told us the district attorney's office determined there wasn't enough evidence to charge him. They also said they tried to do a welfare check but couldn't find Flanagan. Explanations that this grieving mother, feeling helpless and failed, says aren't good enough.
I tried to reach out. I tried, but they didn't believe me. They thought I was making it up and that he was just a father.
Being helpless and failed says aren't good enough.
I tried to reach out. I tried, but they didn't believe me. They thought I was making it up and that he was just a father. They didn't want to pull phone records or nothing until she actually passed.
25-year-old man took the life of his 2-year-old child. And y'all are laughing and making fun of somebody who's saying they're being abused. And there's also a child involved in the picture. I mean, he may not be the exact situation. He's not the father. But at the same time, my point is we have to start taking people seriously when they reach out and ask for help. And it doesn't mean, oh, this person is lazy or they're stupid, because nowhere in her posting she said she was unemployed or she said he was assisting her with her child's tuition. Sometimes we could be a bit more sensitive, and I was talking about it yesterday. It's like there's advantages and disadvantages to social media, but you can't somehow feel that it really brings out the insensitive side of a lot of us. It's like we've lost our ability to feel and to be sympathetic or show empathy to another person's plight. It's always as if we live in this perfect little bubble where we always make the best choices and the right choices. Sometimes all it takes is just stopping for a minute and putting yourself in somebody else's shoes. You may not do the exact thing, but you might have done something similar. We don't make the best choices all the time. We don't make the right choices all the time. So sometimes it really irks me. And I'm going to be honest, that when I see certain comments and people taking everything for a joke, and even though you may not do something, and you might say, yeah, well, you're grown, you make the right choices, everybody isn't wired the same. And it takes a lot for people to sit and write these things and send them in. Yeah, sometimes we laugh, there are certain things that's funny, but there are times when we need to take certain things seriously. And abuse is one of those things. If y'all know me well enough, I don't play with. I don't ever find anything funny. I don't care if it's physical, I don't care if it's mental. Once abuse is in the picture, there's nothing funny for me. There's nothing funny about it. For somebody to say that I'm being abused in so many ways and asking for help or a way out, it's not stupid. It's maybe just a little too insensitive. We can't just be hard all the time. We can't just be so tough and rigid with our stance and we don't see anything from another person's point of view or something that the reason somebody might do something or accept something. That song, I kept trying to find it, that song that says, if you have not ever messed up, put your hand up. And that is the way some of you act sometimes. Like your entire life, you've lived it on the straight and narrow. You're sitting at the right hand of God the Father. You're touching Jesus' slippers and his hem. It's just waiting for when the roll is called up yonder so you can be there. You don't even have to wait to hear your name. You're automatically qualified to be seated at the right hand. Your clean white robe is waiting for you. Angels blowing flutes and trumpets and calling out your name as you walk up to accept your place. There's a lot of things we've done that we're not proud of. It's not kosher. to sit so high and look down on people, or belittle people because they don't fit into your standard of what good behavior should be, how perfect life should be, or how you ought to be. The insensitivity, sometimes it really gets to me. It's like, we are just so judgmental and always so quick to point fingers. I mean, how does that make you feel when you like trying to bring down a person? You feel good, you sleep good, a couple digits are added to your bank account. What is it? I don't get it. I really don't. If somebody's asking for help, there's nothing to make fun of. If you can't offer a solution, then sometimes it's okay to sit certain things out. Like, be like, I'm gonna pass on this one today, because what I'm about to say might come across as insensitive. Y'all might not like what I have to say, so you know what? I'm gonna chill on this one today. It's okay to do that too. But when somebody, takes a lot, man as well as woman. That is why most times people suffer in silence, for this exact reason. There are a lot of people going through it on a daily basis, but when they think about how y'all are waiting to screenshot and screen grab and record and pass around their failures and their insecurities, people just remain silent and deal with it by themselves and fuel their depression and their anxiety and all of that, because some of you don't make it easy to open up to or to talk to about stuff. Y'all say, oh, I'll talk about it, better to talk about it, but when you talk about it, y'all make fun about it. It's not easy for a person to come out and say, hey, I'm being abused, I'm being this, I'm being that, I'm not okay. Because everything is like kiki, kaka, it's like a joke. Everything is, I mean, yeah, we have to laugh. Laughter is good. Some of y'all just take the kiki too far sometimes. It's like, just a little consideration goes a long way. We ain't all perfect out here. We've all messed up in one way or the other. But sometimes it's just too much. Someone says you need to make a clean break from this man and be serious about it. Why make someone be so disrespectful towards you just because they help financially? What example are you setting for your child? Hope you put your thinking cap on. Another person says, Debs, I love this one. Sadly, lots of single mothers are in situations like this. This isn't an isolated case. I keep saying to y'all, God forbid my inbox ever gets exposed. Jeez, bread. Listen, there's a lot. It's unbelievable what mothers do for the children, Women are heroes, especially mothers. Especially when you're not, holding a good job, or you're just barely making a couple dollars with no help. You're a single mother, father gone. There are so many things women subject themselves to just so they can put food on the table for their children. The things they allow to be done to them, the way they prostitute themselves, the things they settle for. Yeah, I could give you a whole lot, but you have to give me something in return. You see, when you're poor, you're exposed, and that is such a true saying. You're vulnerable, and people take advantage of your vulnerability. When you're poor, you are exposed. I've had about 3 or 4 women in my inbox, and they've called the places, the names of the business owners and managers who openly, they went in for interviews. Well, you ain't really qualified for the work now, but I could give you it if you handle me. If you treat me, between me and you, if you handle me right. Like, what? I'm coming for a job. If I'm qualified, hire me. If I'm not, thank you so much for considering me. Have a good life. What is I could give you something, but you have to give me something. What is that about in 2023? While some may be able to walk away and say, you know what? Middle finger to you on your job. There are others who can't. Because that will depend on if they eat later, or if their children eat tomorrow, or if they're able to send their children to school. So they allow themselves to be used in certain ways just for the sake of their children. There's a lot of single mothers going through this. So I don't think this is something like new or it's a one-off. If you're able to help a person, help. There shouldn't be no scratch my back and scratch yours. Go scratch your back yourself. Go lean up on a wall or some pole and rub yourself up and down. So as Debbie was saying, there's lots of single mothers in that situation. When they say desperate time calls for desperate measures, when you're desperate, geez, the things you do. Desperation will drive you to a lot of things you know deep down. Not even deep. You know that you're not supposed to. But you feel easy to go home and watch your children and them in the eye and you can't tell them, hey, come and eat your dinner or come and get your breakfast. And you don't know what they're eating tomorrow. So we just look at things at face value and we don't really go deep. We just look at, oh, kiki, oh, you're stupid, oh, you're supposed to know better, oh, go and get a walk, oh. If it was that easy, she would have done it. As Deb was saying, a lot of single mothers are in situations like this, accepting abuse because they're getting financial assistance to meet basic needs for themselves and their children. And like she says, if you do not have a job, it's time to get up and get. If you do have a job, try to make adjustments in your expenses and become independent so you don't have to settle for this abuse from anyone. And she said they're friends, so I'm not sure why she's taken the abuse from the friend because of his financial help. That is why she's taking the abuse, because he helps her with the child's tuition. As this person says, when all you have to say is, when one door closes, many will open, then claim it. You have to make the Most High your place of refuge. In his man, in his simple nature, will always fail, but the Most High in his infinite power will always be there, helping you with no expectations. Just your faith and trust in him is enough. Yeah? So sometimes you might feel like there's no way out, but think about it. Is it worth it? Gaining your independence, and that is one of my biggest fears, being reproached and having anybody, man, woman, child, malt, dog, puss, say, it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have that and have that. And sometimes it's just hilarious when you sit back and you hear people saying certain things like, oh, man minding a man doing this, and you be like it's hilarious because you bust your tail. People don't know when you eat, if you eat, but you put on your makeup, you put on your clothes and you step out and you're ready to face the day. And you're hearing, oh, is Manda doing this, and you look around like, what? Who? It is hilarious, But I learned from an early age, being able to turn your hand, there's nothing more liberating than that. Yeah, somebody helps you, that is an additional help. That is, more is always good, but you're not dependent on the person for your mere survival or to eat. You can do that on your own. You can pay your bills on your own. You don't have to stretch out every week, do this, do that. And you can't ask anybody for help because people are just waiting. Before you type HE, they don't know if it's man you're talking about, or they don't even put the LP in it and the finger on the screenshot button. All the thing he or she playing, look, they begging people for help and this, that, or the other. So y'all don't make it easy to reach out anyways. And the way my lock set up, I ain't want no screenshot. So as Deb says, gaining your independence is your only way out. So I would say first things you need to do is sit and weigh out your options and take the necessary steps to self-reliance. Another person says, listen to this person's comment. This person says, I see you like money. You don't like peace and respect, so take money and stop complaining. So we don't know the person's situation, we don't know the circumstance, the mitigating factors, nothing. And we automatically assume that she likes what money though? The lady never said the money was being used for her upkeep, never said it was being used to buy weave and do nail and buy eyelashes or to pay her rent or to pay her loan or to nothing. She said her daughter's tuition. So sometimes y'all read to respond and y'all don't read to understand. So I don't understand, because I don't understand how she could like money when she never said, one, she didn't have a job, two, she never said she was dependent on him to eat or drink or to pay her bills. She said he was helping her pay her daughter's tuition. And like I said, as much as you can respect somebody wanting their child or children to get the best based on their own situation and how they grew up and didn't have the opportunity, a lot of the times that is what motivates a parent to want better for their children, because they know they did not have it and look how they had to struggle through life. So a lot of the times they're like, you know what, I'm going to do whatever it takes to ensure that my child gets the best. Even if I have to do without certain things, I'm going to make sure that my child gets the best education and I'm supportive and this, that, or the other. So to say this person likes money and they don't like peace and respect, someone says clearly you want what is best for your daughter, but what she needs is a good example of a strong and resilient mother who will not tolerate that ish. Change school if you can. If it's university, find another way. Let him keep his money. Abuse is never okay. And I'm happy there are people who actually understand. Yeah? Someone says, sometimes y'all in the comments just get me upset. My sentiments exactly. What gold digger? She's sacrificing her mental health for her child. Hurry up, your child finished school, advice. Well, I'm guessing the daughter goes to university because other levels of education aren't that expensive. Depending on the private school they go to. Per term, it's... yeah. That is the part that really, like, y'all be talking about women are gold digger. And then when you look at the man, there isn't even any gold to dig to begin with. Somebody giving you a little change to help. She never said he was helping, taking care of her. And she wasn't doing anything. And she depended on him for survival. She never said that. She said she was acceptive of the abuse because he was helping pay her child tuition. Where's the goal to dig in that? He's not giving her no weekly allowance and $20,000 a month, or no 50,000. How much men in Grenada really could give you $50,000 and $20,000 a week or month? Yeah, this gold digging ish just get me so annoyed. It's not even funny. Y'all be talking about people gold diggers for man that even have money to begin with. So what gold are you? Oh, get me upset. Let me come off of this. How many men comfortably can give you a 20 G's at the end of the month in Grenada? Or 100 grand? Y'all be on this gold digging. Sometimes the man just struggling for himself, but in just helping out a situation. About gold digging what? Brenda, let me see your comment. Brenda says we lack empathy. If you cannot walk around in her shoes, just be open to understanding the situation. This here is not a situation of choice. It's how desperate it is now, a desperate one. Eventually, we hope she works it out. But it is a right here situation, and she's placing her child before herself. There is other abuse here, although she has not listed. Exactly. Exactly. We just lack empathy. Everything is... It's on my page, so you can go check it out, Janelle. It's on my page. It's under the post. Sheena says, this is why I say over and over to my friends with no children, do not feel you are missing out on anything by not wanting having children. It's not an easy journey. Children comes with a lot of sacrifices to be made. Yep. that is the part that people that is the part that people leave out, forget to mention that it's not easy taking care of. Last thing before I go, y'all realize that every single thing, the price has risen? There was a particular little pastry that I like. I used to pay like $2.50 for that little pastry. Yesterday, I went searching for said pastry. So I normally would buy my two, and that's $5. So I handed, without even asking, I just ordered what I want and I handed the lady $5. So I see she's standing there with the 5 in her hand and like she's waiting. So me now looking at her and I'm like, so I'm like, the lady said I have to give her $3.50 more. I'm like, what? I'm like, miss, all I did was stuck that $5 in my pocket because I know, and I left my purse in my vehicle because I know just last week I bought said pastry for $2.50. And this lady is now standing there with my $5 in her hand and waiting on the other $3.50 from last week to this week. So imagine, and that's only myself. So imagine women with no support, no father, no nothing, and who have 2 and 3 children. How y'all doing it? And don't have no big salary coming in. How are y'all surviving on a daily basis and not pulling your hair out? Y'all are heroes, I swear. Y'all are heroes out here. Imagine just myself, well, and my dog. Even that gone up, dog food and all gone up. To kill them dead grenade full of a bunch of millionaire bachelors. Wait, when? All of us struggling together and eating yam. How y'all? Well, I could not have bought the two because, like I said, I had only my $5. So I told her, well, take for one and give me back my $2.50. May $1.25, please. Today's price is not tomorrow's price. No, it's not. But it's just that the jump. It's not like a 25 cents difference. Not like a 40% increase. Sometimes it's a whole 100% increase. Like yesterday to today. It's not even a 5%. Like a 10 cent or 20 cents or 50 cent. No. $2 and $3 and $4. Sheena, I don't eat it every day. I just feel the need sometimes. I'm not a sweet tooth type of person. I don't like I can't sit and eat like cake and ice cream just because I see it. No. I have to like feel for it. I have to like, yeah, I feel like an ice cream now, or I feel like cake, or I'm not a sweet tooth person, so I'm good there. But anyways, Valerie says I have 2 incomes and I still cry whenever I go grocery shopping. One little bag. Now they have these bags, right? Let's see if I could pull it off. This here is like $150. This is like $150. It's crazy, you know? But anyways, as you're about to wrap up, this final one here says this is tough. She should explore all opportunities to fund her daughter Elsa. Presuming it's college, I see it as a mother literally sacrificing her life and peace for her child. Others may see it as prostituting herself for money, but I see it as sacrificing herself. And that's how I see it as well. So on that note, to the amazing men we have out there, if you're in a position to help, please help. But stop looking for something in return. Stop looking for your back to be scratched. Like I said, if you have an itch, go get a long brush, go lean up on one of them pole, find some wall, and rub yourself up and down. But don't do things because you want something in return. Don't see a vulnerable mother looking for help to feed her child and in a position to help, and you figure she has to give you something to get something in return. Don't do it. That's not how we're supposed to be. We're better than that. Brent says it's so sad to see children at the grocery with their moms and the mom keeps saying, put it back. I recommend that you leave them home. Yep. Put it back. It's tough. It's really tough. Not just I can't put it back. Put back it. After 1 or 2 times of telling them put it back. Put it back, man. Anyways, guys, I'll see y'all on Monday, God's will. Thank you so much for checking into the room. Thank you so much to our friends at Western Union for checking in for another week. And Miss Lady, see, what you allow is what will continue. Yeah? So you're going to have to sit and make some tough decisions. Yes, you want the best for your child, but I suggest you start looking at some other options so you don't have to rely on Judah's brother for assistance. All right? I'll see you guys on Monday. Have a good one, y'all.